Welcome back to this edition of San Diego People. I'm Lauren Finney. This month is National Recovery Month, and we're talking about all of the resources available to people facing addiction. With me now, I have Michael Baris, Director of Treatment Services for Volunteers of America Southwest. Michael, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
For people who aren't aware of Volunteers of America Southwest, what services are available countywide, really, here in San Diego?
Right. Well, Volunteers of America has been in San Diego since 1896, providing services. Currently, we're based in San Diego County, Riverside County, and San Bernardino. We provide children and family services, veteran services, some mental health programming, and of course, alcohol and drug treatment services, and one of the reasons why we're here today.
Yeah, and I had touched on briefly in the tease that the homeless veteran population is one specifically helped out by this group. And really, we see a lot of vets dealing with substance abuse as well, right?
Absolutely. Volunteers of America does service veterans and homeless veterans. We have a transitional housing program called the Holly Center. It's in the East County. We also have supportive services for veterans and their families, and rapid rehousing programs for veterans too. And then of course we welcome veterans into our drug and alcohol treatment services as well. And there's a great need for that.
Right. And I imagine a lot of times it's difficult to build up that trust, to get people to come in and, as Jean had talked about, surrender.
Right.
How do you break through that layer?
Well, one of the entries into our drug and alcohol treatment services is through our detoxification program. So a lot of times when those veterans or just county residents in general come in, they've really hit rock bottom and they've kind of at the end of their rope, and they really have no place else to turn to except for our program. So as far as surrendering, they have surrendered and they're just looking for help and some other way to live. So.
And, you know, you talk about rock bottom, and sometimes when people have hit that point, they've lost or alienated themselves from a support system they would normally have.
Absolutely.
How do you work with that? How do you help build a support system? Are you the support system? Well,
one of the first things that we do with people when they come through our door is to inspire that hope, that things can be better and they don't have to continue to live like that. But as far as support, through the programming we developed that. We have a large recovery community that participates in the program, as well as our staff. So we have daily H&I or NA, AA meetings in our program, and they start to develop that support system. We have outside volunteers that come in, people that are in recovery, living that clean and sober lifestyle, so that they can see that, you know what, you can accomplish that as well. So.
Right. And oftentimes people are discouraged because maybe it hasn't worked for them before. Maybe they've tried programs and fell back into old habits. How do you work with that and tell them to give it another try?
Well, you know, that is the key. We have people that come through our programs multiple times because for many, they say that relapse is a part of recovery. So the first time that they try, they might not always be successful, but our doors are always open, so they can come back and they can make that fresh start and again work on gaining some of the tools that they need to improve their quality of life.
It's so inspiring when you can see people get to that point of recovery and realize that they don't need substances to live and be happy and have a successful life. But it's oftentimes difficult for people who are in your industry to see people at their rock bottom. What is your inspiration to keep going? What inspired you to want to be there and lead these kinds of services for people in need?
For me, it's seeing those people at rock bottom. I mean, I haven't been doing it nearly as long as Jeannie has been doing it, but I've been doing it for 27 years. And I see people coming into our detox program really kind of at the end of their rope, and without coming into detox, I might not know where they're going to end up. They might not know where they're going to end up. And I often tell people, like, if I was in their same situation, I don't know how they keep going. So within 3-5 days, the light kind of comes back into their eyes, and you see that person that they're meant to be, that they can be. And I always tell my staff and my clients that people's current situation, define them as a person. So that's what really inspires me, to see that beginning of recovery, where the initial stages, and to see them kind of continue to progress through recovery and have that clean and sober lifestyle. I have clients that continue to come back and see me, and again, it's inspiring. So it's good.
Yeah, it keeps you going.
Yeah, absolutely.
We talked a little bit earlier about our society, our nation, as it compares to the rest of the world. President Trump has talked about funding more for addiction treatment. Is the government doing enough in our society as a whole to really battle what has become a nationwide epidemic?
Yeah, and you know what, the numbers of that epidemic are staggering, but I think there is like a silver lining to that really dark cloud, and there are services available. Do we need more services? Absolutely. But if a person in San Diego County wants services, they have the ability to find those services, and people can get better, and people don't have to live that lifestyle.
And Volunteers of America is county funded, right? So really anybody in the entire county is eligible for the treatment services you offer.
Yeah, we partner with the County of San Diego and their Health and Human Services Agency to provide detoxification services and long-term drug and alcohol treatment services. We have the capacity to serve 140 people, and those services are open to anybody in San Diego County.
What does that enrollment process look like? Is it a quick, they walk in the door, they're admitted? Is it an outpatient service?
We have an intake center, a centralized intake center, so they call in and they do an initial phone screen, and once we do that phone screen and they're ready to come in, as soon as we have availability, we will reach out and contact. Sometimes it can be that same day, sometimes the next day. So we bring them in, and yeah, it's a quick process. So if you're looking for help, make sure that you contact us, and we can start that process.
For family members who are concerned about loved ones who are going through addiction for whatever the case may be, the best thing to do is call and see what that wait is like. Are there?
Yeah, absolutely. You can call our intake center at 619-232-9343. Another great resource is our website, and that's voasw.org. And then the County of San Diego has a great website. It's called uptosd.org. They have addiction resources and mental health resources, and we know that often those two matters are combined and go hand in hand.
So it can be a rather quick process, and it doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out eligibility.
No, so if you need help and you want to be clean and sober, give us a call and we'll bring you in, and we'll provide that.
All right. Michael, thank you so much. Appreciate
My pleasure.
the information. Still ahead on San Diego People, we're going to be talking to two individuals who have beat addiction. We'll hear their stories of success and find out what insight they can offer to those battling addiction. We'll be right back. Stay with us.